Lights on. You're watching the Burbs, breaking down stories that glow beyond the screen. Welcome to Screen Decoded. Q to you. Despite receiving mixed reviews from viewers, Peacock's new comedy series, The Burbs, starring Keke Palmer, is a hit on the streaming rankings. Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher's 1989 film of the same name is being remade with the Emmy Award-winning actress in the lead role. The Peacock series, which garnered a 77% Rotten Tomatoes rating, but viewers gave the show a 59%, has been acclaimed by critics. On February 8th, all 8 of the first season's episodes were simultaneously published. The Burbs soared to the top of Peacock's streaming chart in the U.S. as of February 9th, despite the gap between critics and viewers. The remaining top 10 on Peacock includes Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, Summer House, The Office, Superfan episodes, The Traitors, Love Island, All Stars, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, and The Office. Superfan episodes. The Burbs overcame the lackluster crowd reviews to make their #1 debut. Many viewers said the show is uninteresting and unwatchable, and some even criticize the Burbs for being woke. But they don't provide many details as to why they believe that's a bad thing, particularly since the phrase has been used incorrectly in recent years. Series that will appeal to original fans. While some critics applauded the decision to have a black woman in the lead position, others thought that The Burbs was a compelling and fulfilling look at suburbia from a different angle. Palmer has also received praise for his comedy and acting abilities. It's interesting to note that the Rotten Tomatoes divide is inverted when compared to the original Joe Dante-directed movie, which received a lower critic score of 56% and a significantly higher audience score of 71%. It made $49.1 million at the box office. Palmer plays Samira, part of a married couple who moved to the suburbs with their child. Palmer co-stars on The Burbs with Jack Whitehall, Julia Duffy, Paula Pell, Mark Proch, and Kapil Talwalkar. Samira and a few of her neighbors launch an inquiry as she begins to notice strange things on her neighborhood, which turns out to be far more extensive than they had first believed. Aquila and the Bee, Joyful Noise, Ice Age, Continental Drift Hustlers, Lightyear, Nope, Good Fortune, True Jackson, BP, Masters of Sex, Scream Queens, and The Proud Family. Louder and Prouder are just a few of the movies and television series in which Palmer has starred over the years. Her hosting of the Password game show Revival, which was created by Jimmy Fallon, earned her second Emmy Award. With her new Peacock series, The Burbs, the award-winning actress has now achieved success once more. Although Peacock has not yet renewed the series, the season concluded with the revelation of several startling revelations that may set up the plots for a possible second episode. One of Tom Hanks' wild cult hits has been given new life by Keke Palmer, and the show's creator, Celeste Huey, is revealing some details about the relationship between the two. Palmer plays Samira, a young lady who moves with her husband and their newborn to his old home on Ashfield Place in a suburb known as the safest town in America. The show follows the lead of its predecessor. However, Samira starts learning the history of the house and neighborhood by working with a group of eccentric neighbors after she develops an interest in a derelict Victorian house on the street where Justin Kirk's enigmatic Gary has moved in with a purported intention of renovating it. For The Burbs, Huey, who is most known for her work on Netflix's Dead to Me and Hulu's adaptation of High Fidelity, has gathered a stellar cast around Palmer. Among many others on this roster are Jack Whitehall from Malice, Julia Duffy, an Emmy nominee, Paula Pell, a veteran of Saturday Night Live, Mark Proch from What We Do in the Shadows, and Kapil Talwalkar from Night Court. Screen Rant's Liam Crowley spoke with Celeste Huey about The Burbs before its Peacock debut. When asked about her relationship with the original film, the creator/showrunner recalled her first viewing of Hank's cult classic was in a friend's basement in the 90s. On her first viewing, she acknowledged that it was much more of a scary film, and that the brilliant commentary about suburban malaise that was scattered throughout the original eventually went over her head. Celeste Huey, I thought, this movie is genius, when I finally had a chance to see it again and began working on it. It was really motivating to understand all the lines, subtleties, and commentaries that I had missed as a child. I adore having the ability to modify something that is so well-liked. I found that to be significant when examining the narrative and the program. In contrast to the Burbs movie, Huey, who co-executive produces a program with Palmer and Family Guy creator Seth MacFarlane, continued by saying that she wanted to make the show its own story while keeping the DNA and those Easter eggs for original films. In response to a question about whether she sees the series as a spiritual sequel or a true reboot, Huey stated that it's both, confirming that it is a whole new world with new characters, but that there are many similarities between the two. Celeste Huey, the town where the film is set, Hinkley Hills, is still where we are. Naturally, we had the opportunity to film on the Universal backlit and in the same cul-de-sac as the first film. That spiritual imprint is present throughout, but the plot is quite different. I believe that High Fidelity, another property whose IP, book, and movie were so well-liked, is one of my works, and we took great effort to respect that while yet telling our own tale. Thus, that was also the goal here. If this breakdown lit something up for you, hit like, subscribe, and stay glowing with the bulbs.